Okay. 2 minutes. Hi, it's Bernie Slaven here. Thanks for joining me on YouTube and Facebook Live as always. And thanks to the sponsors, Galaxy Blinds, Cornerstone, Advanced Utility Solutions, Boro Museum, TGM Cars, Cleveland Systems Engineering, and RWTA, that's Richard Wills Training Associates. The team today, I mean, we go into the game today against Coventry. Coventry have got everything to play for. We've got pride to play for. Try to go into the playoffs with a bit of momentum. So for me, it was a big game. I did predict before the game we would play a full strength team, or the players that's fit. And I think the team more or less says that. Stefan in goal, Smith, McNair, Lenihan, Giles, Hackney, Mowat, McGree, Jones, Archer and Akpom. So that was as strong a starting lineup as we could have. Obviously Fry's still out. Don't really know what's the problem there. Foz is out. Johnny Howson was missing, but still a good team. And on the bench was Beleza, Muniz, Fisher, Roberts, Crooks, Bowler and Finch. What game did I see? I thought the first half Coventry played as our game. They played pure football. They passed it around. The big number 17, can't pronounce his name for them, was an absolute handful. Colossus. He scored 21 goals for Coventry and made 10. Obviously, we've got Chuba, the Championship's top scorer. So people would suggest that he's better, but this guy was different. He was strong as an ox. He backing into people, elbows up. He was quick, and he was a real handful. Anyway, looking at it today, they've scored the goal, and just before half time, Archer hits a great goal. Busy in the box, 6-yard box. He's turned, rifled it, top left-hand corner. Great finish. We came out in the second half. We looked a better team. We created a wee bit more without really troubling them, but the passing was better and crisper and we were sharper. At the end of the game, we couldn't complain. It ended up a point each. And now we play Coventry in the playoffs. The first leg's away and then we play the Riverside. I have to say, switching to up the road, Sunderland, well done Sunderland. Fantastic achievement by my old mate Tony Mowbray. To not have a striker and hear my cat in the background. To not have a striker like Tony Mowbray. Ellis obviously went to Everton and Big Stuart injured. I mean, Mowbray's remit, I think he went public knowledge, was mid-table. They can't believe they're in the playoffs. So now we could meet Sunderland in the final. If we make it and they beat Luton, Middlesbrough, Sunderland at Wembley, how good would that be? I think it's mouth-watering. I'd love to. The only problem with today's game, I put my social network, I think Carrick will play his strongest team available, and I'm looking to win. The reason we want wins to give me momentum. Now it's 2 wins in 8. That's the reality. That's statistical. It's not my opinion. 2 out of 8. We're going into the playoffs not as good as we've been. We've been terrific this season. And we can't just go into playoffs. People think we're going to switch on and say, oh, everything's great now. Fry's back. Foz is back. We just turn it on now. And don't forget, Fry comes back. Well, when did Fry last play? He might not be back fit. But today's game for me was important. I wanted all 3 points to go into the playoffs with a bit of a skip and more confidence. But 2 wins out of 8 doesn't make good reading, no matter how you try to camouflage it. But we've still got everything to play for. We're still the league's top scorers. Something to be proud of. We've still got the top scorer in Chuba. Chuba wasn't really in it today. They played 3 centre-backs. They had a bit of pace throughout. And they caused us a few problems. Could the battle of Trafalgar happen, Bernie? Boro v Sunderland, Kev Naylor? Well, they're telling me that there's a few teams down there. And obviously the train carry on and travel and times of the games. There could be a few naughty things going on in London. I hope not, but that could happen. Chris Andrews says, no consistency. Wheels are coming off. I'm a bit worried for the playoffs. Well, I looked at today and I'm thinking, if I had to choose Luton, Sunderland or Coventry, I would rather choose Luton after what we've seen a few weeks ago when we played half a team. Coventry's probably the best out of the three of them, in my opinion. So, yeah. I must say, I wouldn't agree the wheels have come off, but there is a bit of disruption now. But the disruption for one reason or another, injuries, some players maybe look out of sync, lost form. I mean, a lot of people criticising Jones today. They were singing his name the other week. Wee bit off the pace, never really get balls in the box. Coventry better first half, wee better second half, did enough, no fresh injuries, and Linehan was absolutely outstanding, Neil Devine. I thought Linehan was very good. Big Paddy had a tough day, but I thought defensively we did pretty well today. I've been critical of defence. I think they're flawed. Well, I know they're flawed. The goals were conceded and some of them have been ridiculous. But yeah, I give a bit of praise because they were up against a decent team. Good footballing team. I mean, Matt Robbins, former Man United striker, he's done brilliant. He's done brilliant. This Boro surely have the playoffs in their hands. It's theirs to lose. Wayne Matthew. Well, it's everybody that's in the playoffs. It's everybody that supports the team in the playoffs. Yeah, it's up to them if they want to lose it. But Coventry, Sunderland, that'd be a dream. For me, that'd be a dream. Beat Coventry, away game first, then at the Riverside, going to Wembley, but I don't think it's going to be as easy as top. We go to Coventry and we get a draw, great result. The away goals don't count and all that. But if we went there and get a draw, if we were to beat 2-0, I would fear coming back to the Riverside because they are such a good attacking team. And with the big number 17, as I say, I can't pronounce his name, he is a handful and he is a very, very good player. He's strong, he's courageous, he's fast, he scores goals, he makes goals, he is a handful. He was backing in today and rolling players. I mean, it was one second half, Paddy get dragged out of position because the full-back Jones is away on, so Paddy has to come out his central position, and when he goes out, he's on the touch line, or the throwing line, and as he gets it, Paddy goes tight, the guys use his strength and rolled him and got away. It was 2 against 2 at the back, but thankfully the big number 17, his pass was a poor one and it came to nothing. Rich Tunney says, Sunderland in the final, I think Bernie Trafalgar Square will be interesting the night before. Great effort from the Coventry fans today, but we can better them when there is something in the game. Look, I was asked the question, I thought both sets of fans were great today. As always, Boro fans and Coventry fans were very good. And obviously the score lines were coming through. You know, all of a sudden Millwall, or so-and-so came out, Millwall's going to be in the 3-1 up, and then it was 3-2, 3-4-3. Incredible. Millwall, dear God, they'll need more than the summer to lick their wounds. But people were saying today, obviously they've got everything to play for. We already know where we're going. But if I was Akpom and company going out today, I want to score. I want to put in a good shift. I want to make sure I'm going to be in the playoff games, that I'm in form and the manager's going to pick me, or the coach, Carrick's going to pick me. So there's still reasons to be go out with a professional. I'm not saying the lads didn't go out with a professional attitude, but the first half we were second best. They played as our game. They played football. They were slick. They were accurate. They scored a goal. We were still messing about at the back. There was once we nearly get caught. I think it was Jones. The keeper played it to Jones. Jones messed about, got caught, and it was nearly a goal. Stefan came out, didn't come out with his hands because the big lad would have probably kicked his head off. Stefan came out with his feet and cleared the danger, but scary moments. And I've said this all season, when the big games come in, the key games, we ain't Man City. I get why we do it, but we're not very good at it. Steve Cuff says, if we needed to win, we would have battered them, in my opinion. But on today's evidence, Steve, you must have seen a different game from me. There's no evidence today we would turn up and beat them in any given day. They had everything to play for, but we still had pride to play for, professional pride, to get the step, spring back in our step after 2-1s and 7. Now it's 2-1s and 8. We cannot, some Boro fans, I've been in playoff games and leading up games, and I know what it entails and what it takes. If we think, and you think as a fan, we play Coventry now, that's going to be 3 times we played them, we're just going to turn it on and we're going to show them that we were half sleeping today, we're going to turn up and wipe the floor with them. It ain't going to happen. You're delusional. They're as good as us at football. In my opinion, what I've seen today, they're as good as us at our game. The only difference is they play 3 centre-backs. And our forwards, although we scored just 4 half-time, it was a great finish for Archer, top left-hand corner, great finish. Probably didn't deserve it. Second half we deserved to get a goal or 2, but didn't. They're as good as us. Barnet Boro fans, hello from Thailand, Bernie. Hello, Barnet Boro fan. I hope you're well. Poor first half, much better second half it was, and the draw was probably a fair result. I totally agree with that. One thing that really frustrated me from today's game is our corner play is very poor. Well, the goal actually came for a corner, didn't it? They were messing about. I think we got a corner far side on the left, whipped it in, and it bounced about in the 6-yard box. And as I say, Ramsey, great finish. So we're not very good at corners. Not very good at free kicks. I think injuries has played a major part with the team selection, Bernie. Well, as I mentioned, Foz is injured. Well, this is one of the things. The reason for me, Carrick succeeded early doors and he's still a success. He's got as a player fantastic. And the football's been great and entertaining and free-flowing. But when he came in, he ripped the 5 at the back up. I'd have did that 10, 12 years ago. Ripped that up, great. And he picked the same team in the main. Maybe the odd adjustment, one dropped or rested, whatever. But now there's a few being forced. There's a few that he's... Akpom, I still say Akpom should have never been dropped. There was 5 dropped for the Luton game. Rested, the modern terminology. For me, it's dropped. Akpom's in fire. I'm a centre forward, former centre forward. Goal. I think the same as Chuba. I've interviewed him. I know what the lad thinks. He's told me firsthand. He wants to score goals, wants to play every game. He's been in fire. He's just won the Championship Player of the Year, Championship top scorer. Then he's rested. Then he comes back against Rotherham. Looks a shade of the player. Obviously, Giles and company weren't playing. Doesn't really get into it. Today, wasn't really in it. So has that leaving him out did him any good? And if we protect him for injury, why have we played him today? When there was a chance we could play Coventry, which obviously we do now. So why have we gambled today? It doesn't make sense. Akpom for me should have played against Luton, hopefully scored a goal, keep his tail up, keep the form fantastic, right up there. Played again the following game, Rotherham, his tail would have been up because he's still playing. If you remember Luton, cameras were panning in. I'm putting my mind into Chuba's thinking, what are you thinking? You're thinking you're peeved off. I would be peeved off. I'd have had to go to knock Carrick's door down and say, what are you doing? Form in my life, 28. Everybody's talking about me. I'm winning all the accolades left, right and centre. Leave the other 4 out. I get that. Don't leave me out. Because I'm on the goal trail. I'm banging form. I don't want anything. It's fragile. And since then, 3 games now, Chuba's not scored. First one, he was on the bench, never got on. Rotherham played, wasn't in it. And today. And for me, if he would have played that long game, I think he still keeps banging in the goals. Don't get me wrong, he might score 3 in the playoffs. But I don't think he should have ever been left out. That's the one guy that it should, for me, shouldn't be left out. I get the other ones, I get all that. And this thing about, you can get injured. We can get injured jumping out the car, injured in bed, tripping the pavement, anything. Nathan Warren says, evening Bernie, evening Nathan. Boro versus Sunderland final. Newcastle playing London same day as well. That's it. So Newcastle are in London. The time the Championship playoff final will take place at Wembley. So if Sunderland and Middlesbrough get there, Newcastle join them. So that's 3 sets of North East fans. And we know the majority are well behaved and great people. But there's a minority of lunatics. And you'd have to say, to go with nothing happening down there with the 3 big teams up here in the North East. Dave Saunders says, I'm very concerned about our performances at the moment, Bernie. I don't understand why I only have 2 centre-backs, then McNair and Howson to fill in. There is a major problem. You can have much of the ball as you want goals make a difference. They do say, Dave, and obviously our goals have been magnificent. All of a sudden, we don't look as confident in front of goal the last few games. Obviously, chopped and changed. But yeah. Goals win games, but we've been fantastic in front of goal. And defensively, we've been flawed, and I don't think much has changed. I'm sure we'll get back in the goal trail, but the Coventry games, as I mentioned earlier, going to Coventry, we need A draw would be the ideal result, a 0-0 or a 1-1, and come back and hopefully do the business. We battered Luton and lost by the ref. What's that got to do with the price of eggs, Rich? Come on. We're talking about now, today. It's gone Luton. We had 5 changes then and we put in a shift and we could beat 2-1. But we made, it came through as we were playing half a team because we wanted players to keep fit and don't want them injured, and yet the players are appeared today. So where's the sense in that? If you're protecting players, the top players, the star players, the informed players from injury, you don't play them any game. But I don't buy into all that. And today proved it. Because now we play Coventry. We've showed our hand with everybody that's fit. That was the best team we had for today that's fit. And they've played their best team. And now we know that we're tough opposition. And they're tough opposition. We get turned over at Sunderland a few months ago. Well, Rich, that's why I wanted to play Sunderland. I would have loved to have played Sunderland home and away so we get 2 chances to batter them instead of 1 at Wembley. That was my thinking. But Sunderland up there, we owed them one for the game that Stewart scored, was it penalty, when Fry gets sent off. So yeah, we owed them one. And the thing about Mowbray and Mugger, I'll call him Mugger because he's my pal. I'm not going to call him Mowbray. That's just Tony Mowbray. I'm one of his biggest fans, Mugger. Tony Mowbray's went in there, remit, finished mid-table. I bet you Tony Mowbray and Mugger and his staff and his chairman can't believe where they are. They went half-hogging it, no strikers. Centre-halves have been injured recently. They had to go and win the day and hope 1 or 2 results go their way. They've went to Preston and won 3-0. That's a great achievement by Tony Mowbray. It really is. Matt Bone says, on a positive note, you get another wage for doing the playoff lounge, Bernie. Well, I don't get paid much, so that doesn't really matter. I don't look at that. I can honestly say money's never been my god. I don't look that way. I know some people do, but yeah. We should be doing it at Wembley like Man United when they get to Wembley. If we get to Wembley, they should have the lads hosting the lounges, but they don't do that. Would love Luton in the final, Bernie, Catherine and Brooke. Well, and if I had, as I say, out of the 4 teams that's in the playoffs, Luton would be my first choice to beat them. They look the weakest team out the 4, Luton. So I would agree with you. In the final would be ideal. Prefer the first leg home first, to be honest. No. I would rather have the first game away. I don't know, why do you say that, Chris? You didn't give me your reasoning. No, I've always thought, whether you're playing playoffs, Europe, whatever, always first game away, especially when your home form's good. First game away and then come back and I say that's the best way for me. Play away, get something, and then come back, and then you know exactly what you have to do anyway. Bernie, good evening. Hiya, Keith. And you're looking very dapper tonight. I'm just back for the game. And well played to Hartlepool United today. Relegated and showed class in how they played at Stockport County and getting a draw and let penalty save the Pools. Keeper did also. Well done to Hartlepool, Keith, but it's just a great shame that they do it in a nothing game when it doesn't matter. When the pressure was on, they fell away, didn't they? They didn't do it. When the pressure's off, nothing to play for, and your chairman, Raj Singh's talking about selling it and players, there is a bit of disruption. Well done for the professionalism, but yeah. Coventry, 2 tough games. It'll be 2 tough games from what I've seen today. If there's a Boro fan that witnessed today's game who don't think it's a difficult opposition and 2-leg affair, then you're deluding yourself. You're trying to kid yourself. They're a very good team. And you're a very good footballing team, but today they showed that in the first half. They could pass it, they could hit it long, they had a bit of pace. As I say, the big lad up front was as strong as an ox. And he's a handful. They reckon Middlesbrough went for him. It's a pity I can't pronounce his name. Number 17 he wore. He was the biggest lad in the pitch. For me, he was a star man. Seemingly Middlesbrough wanted him a few years ago, but didn't pay the money. We look a bit lacklustre and I lack ideas. How do you change? For Jonathan Mitson. We look a bit lacklustre. Well, look, as people have suggested and says, and what they're thinking is, we now are in the playoffs. We now know it's keep going or we're out. The last few games has been, oh, we're there, they're fighting to get there, there's more in their locker, there's more adrenaline kicking in. So then we know when we play them next time that we have to get results. Today we could have got beat 5-0 today, we're still in the playoffs. So I think the dynamics change now, but they would have got a boost today coming to our place and putting in a shift the way they did. Steve Cuff said only 2,000 tickets for away leg, shocking that. I don't know how many their ground holds, Steve. 2,000 tickets, yeah, it's crap for such an important game. But the one thing that still annoys me with the playoffs is the VAR's not kicked in all season, despite hundreds of millions up for grabs for the teams that get promoted. They don't have it in the semis, but they have it in the final. I think that's ludicrous. All or nothing. You either have it in or you don't have it in. Imagine Boro 5-0 versus Sunderland in the final, up the Boro. Norman, shoot, you're dreaming, aren't you? 5-0. Imagine that, 5-0, Tuba 4. That's the thing, you play Sunderland in the final. What an atmosphere that would generate. Local rivals, derby game. That'd be brilliant. Alec, we Doi. It's a fair old name, Alec. Do you think the Premier League need North East derbies again? Well, I don't know if the Premier League needs them, but we certainly do. I mean, Alec, if I had a choice, I'd love Newcastle, Sunderland and Middlesbrough to be in the Premier League every year. Love nothing better. I was talking today and people were saying, who would you choose before today's game? Who would you choose, Bernie, if you were playing now? I say, if I was a player now, I'd want Sunderland in the semis. 2 chances, 2 opportunities to score goals against them and beat them. And beat one of our biggest rivals. I would thrive on that, love that. I know the importance to the fan of derbies. I played in enough of them. I scored in a few of them. Loved it. So for me, that would be I would rather play them than anybody. But we still could play them in the final at Wembley. Dear me. It's incredible, isn't it? Robbie Very says, hi Robbie. Coventry will be hard over the 2 legs. In contrast, they were a decent team, the best team in the Championship to visit the Riverside last season. Let's hope we play well enough to conquer and make the final. First half, they were much better side they were. We had the better second half, I agree, but silly mistakes nearly cost us today up there in Boro. I agree, Robbie. I mentioned that earlier. We're still messing about in wrong positions, still taking chances, still gambling. We ain't I don't know, I've said it all season. We ain't Man City. I get why we do it, but we're not very good at it. And taking risks and opportunities against a team like that who've got a bit of pace, and they closed the keeper down today, first half in particular. And as I say, there was one that Jones hit it, and it looked as if he was going to go by the keeper. And he blocked it with his legs. We're lucky to get off the hook. That would have been 2-0 down. Told you 6 weeks ago who will be in the final. Mowbray versus Carrick. Matt Sutherland. So Carrick's achievements been well documented and rightly so, been terrific. But Mugger deserves compliments as well. Incredible what he's done. No money, not in control of players, picks a team. He's got centre-halves out injured at the minute. He's got no forwards of any recognition he's no tradesman, he's got apprentices, young lads. And here he is in the playoffs. Incredible. I thought 1-1 today, but next is more important up there from Boro for Rob Tip. Yeah, I think we all agree with that. We know that. But we know no room for error next 2 games. There's no comeback. Once the 2 games go, that's it. We're either at Wembley or we're out. We're on holiday. We've started playing slow football. Stop the fast pass and move. We're playing a bit like England. Left to right and back to defence. Need to get fast pass and moving going again. I think we picked up in the second half, Johnny. Johnny Hodger, I think you're right in saying that. There is sometimes we've been slow and laboured where we used to zip it about, bit of zip and zest, fast, accurate. We've sort of slowed down. That could be down to the amount of games we've played. We are at the end of the season, nearly. This is a real business end. We know how important it is. But some players do get jaded. Some get tired. That's not an excuse. People make that excuse after 5 games into a new season. I don't buy into that. But now we're 40, 50 games in. A bit of tired and fatigue and pressure. Are we getting to some of the lads? Gary Motson says, I thought Linehan, Paddy and Stefan played well at the back today. They did, Gary. As I say, I thought defensively we did well today because we were a good attacking team. blessed with pace, direct, create, strong. So I thought our defence really, Paddy stuck at it. Paddy really did. He'd cut of great challenges where the big lad thought he'd escaped him. And Paddy came back and maybe gave away a corner or a free kick or throw-in. So I'd give credit to defence today. Matt says, how can you blame injuries when you look what Mugger has done without most of the squad? Look, the injuries is well, it's not a cop-out, but you know that you've got injuries in part and parcel of football, and you have to just get on with it. Looked at the bench today, Belazer, Muniz, Fisher, Roberts, Crooks, Bowler and Finch. Not the strongest squad. As I say, we've still got Foster come back, we've still got Fratty come back, we've still got Johnny Housen come back. Ramsey, I don't think will be back. I think Ramsey's gone. People might be shouting, well, what do you mean? Well, Ramsey's went back because he's injured, because he's still their player. The official season's over now. We're in the playoffs. I can imagine Villa going, you ain't getting back there. You've done well. You've did your bit to get them in the playoffs. You've scored goals. You've made goals. You've done brilliant. But you're our player, and we don't want to risk you getting injured in the playoff games. I know Axel's for Villa, but different proposition. But Ramsey, I hope Ramsey does come back, because he's been an important cog in the wheel, and partly for Carrick's success along with the team. He played very well. Attack needs to be a bit slicker though. Well, yeah, but we know that. A lot of times today, Giles never beat the first man, Jones never beat the first man. That happened throughout the game. There was a couple of times we did get the ball over. But Giles, we know, is our biggest supplier. And today, they obviously did the homework. As I say, they played 3 centre-backs, wing-backs, and they get back in good position, clogged things up, frustrated us. The Battle of Trafalgar Square, Stephen Vaughan. Yeah, the Battle of Stamford Bridge was the last battle I was in. Well, no, me, the fans. When the hooligans, the riffraff, the tow rags of Chelsea ran on the pitch and chased us off the field. Down in London, Stamford Bridge, when we relegated them. That was what, 89? Yeah, that was some day. So the Battle of Trafalgar Square. We don't want any battles. We want fans going there, enjoying the moment, take it in, and go to the game. Try and stay off the alcohol. Sound like a preacher, don't I? No, but when you look, we were talking the other day, me and a couple of my mates, we were talking about the Qatar World Cup. Put all the politics aside. Politics is in football, whether you like it or not. All that away, no drinking. Fans were great, everybody loved it. There was more clarity. People could actually give opinions and see the true football instead of going half cut and seeing a different game for everybody else. Everywhere we go, Sunderland to win the playoffs with Kieran Bassett. Come on, Kieran. It is Bassett, isn't it? I thought you called something else. Joking. So, Sunderland fan. I've got Sunderland mates who'll be absolutely cock-a-hoop tonight. Delighted. Russell Willis says, we after stop Gyökeres and had far too much. Yeah, so Gyökeres is the lad that I'm talking about. Far too much of the ball and space today. He can punish you. Russell, he's my biggest. I'm sure they would look at our team and think Gill's biggest supplier, Akpom top scorer, they're a problem. They're our biggest threats. Well, I'll go with you, the Gyökeres lad, the number 17 I keep talking about. He is unbelievable. He could play in the top flight. He's got all the attributes. And I've heard of him and I know his records, but I seen him firsthand today and I just thought, he's got the lot, this kid. Rob says, either way, it's been a great season since November, but I still think we're the team to beat out the other 3. So Rob's still confident. We should be confident. We're still a very good team. And we're in there in merit and we're top scorers and we've got the top goal scorer in Akpom. So we're not downbeat and downtrodden and being hypercritical, super critical. We're just stating a few facts. It's no opinions. We've only won 2 and 8. And before, we were winning game after game after game, scoring 3 and 4 and this and that. Now we're getting beat with, not today, Rotherham, crap, poor game. Luton, we get beat, dodgy decision. But you know, if you look back in the 2 out of the 8 games, Huddersfield getting gubbed 4 by Warnock, who kept the team up. Well done to Neil Warnock. But that was something totally against the grain. So there's been games where we've thought, dear God, what's going on? I don't feel good about playing Coventry in the playoffs, not after seeing them play today. This is from Mizzy Maz. Hiya, Mizzy. But who knows? Maybe Boro will go all out. Look, I'm sure Carrick... Today, I says he has to play his strongest team and we have to get a victory to skip into the playoffs. We never get the victory, but we didn't get beat. And a lot of the big players were playing, especially Archer and Akpom up front and Giles the fullback. For me, those are the most prominent players in our team. The most that really... And Hackney in the middle of midfield. Goals win games, but consistency is the key. That's where we have lacked. Easy second best team. Same old, lose bottle. Well, I said a few weeks ago, let's hope we've not lost with bottle and we bounce back. I don't think we've lost with bottle. Might have lost a wee bit of confidence because, as I say, it's now 3 games since Akpom scored, and Akpom looked as if he was going to score every game. But since he's been left out, for me, that's not helped him, it's hindered him. You know, Rotherham weren't in it, he wasn't in it. Today, huffed and puffed, tried, get kicked a few times, get caught a few times, can't remember really having a chance. You know, whereas before that, Akpom was on fire. It might be coincidental, but do you know what? I don't think it is, because I've got the same mentality as Akpom, or I did have. You want to score every game, and when you're playing well, you get rewarded. You don't get punished. You get rewarded because you're playing well and scoring goals by staying in the team and getting another goal. But didn't even bring them on against Luton. Hopefully, Tony, hopefully we can switch back on for the playoffs. I prefer momentum, but we got to trust the process and believe we can beat anyone. Oh, I agree with that as well, Tony. But the fans believe, but the players have to believe. Sounds like on here, everyone is so confident we're going to be in the final with Sunderland. Form says otherwise. This is for Paul Kearney. We lose first leg against Coventry and we could be well in trouble, because at the moment we just ain't banging them in. I truly hope I'm wrong with this. If I'm right though, it's going to be a long summer. Hey, you take nothing for granted. I totally agree with that. I think we... I'm not saying we're at Wembley. I've not booked a hotel. I've not tried to order my tickets or my travel. I'm sitting tight. As I say, I've been in playoffs. Chelsea-Bradford playoffs. Home and away back then at Wembley. I played in the playoffs, Middlesbrough-Notts County, we got beat in the semi-final. I blame the manager for that. And then I played in the playoff final at Wembley for Port Vale, front of full house. Played West Bromwich Albion, Aussie Ardealers, and they beat us. We played a week before at Wembley and won the Autoglass. And then a week later, one of our centre-halves get sent off. Right decision, and we get beat. And that was the end of us. But momentum, confidence getting into playoffs is paramount importance. As I say, we can't just switch it on, switch it off. I mean, if Frank comes back, that means he's been out a while. Foz comes back, he's only been out a couple of weeks. Howson, I think they will be fit. That's my gut feeling. I think there's a bit of condology going, saying that they're injured and might not make the playoffs. I think they will make the playoffs, and that'll be a boost. Alec Henry says, afternoon Bernards. Good afternoon, Alex. From Norway. I'm sure we'll be different animal in the playoffs. We were guaranteed 4th place. 4th place. I'm glad we don't lose. Lenihan was outstanding today. He was right in it. Hopefully we have Foz and Ramsey. I think a Foz was a big miss on the right. Yeah, Foz after a few games I thought, don't know about Foz, but he stamps his authority, looks the part, can create, can score the odd goal. So we'll welcome him. Ramsey, it might just be me. I don't think Ramsey will be back. I think there's more chance of Gordon Ramsay coming back for the playoffs than Aaron Ramsey. I might be totally wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Ramsey's been very good, same as Archer. Kieran Basnett says, scared stiff of Sunderland. That's why Bosch mugger beating the Boro at Wembley. Aha. For Kieran, obviously. We're not scared stiffies. We respect you. We're not scared stiffy. Hey, Kieran, if I was playing, I would want to play you as first and foremost. I'd want to beat you 2 games. The final, you only get 1 chance. Home and away, I'd like to stuff these both. And I'd be confident we would. But we're not scared. The fans aren't scared stiff. They're a wee bit cautious because it's a derby game. Some of them are talking about the shenanigans before the game in Trafalgar Square. Kieran, you deluded. There's the F word in there. I think our away form is good. Bring on any team. I think this is the best chance to go up. I only pray. Damo Caesar. I think our away form is good. Bring on any team. I think this is the best chance. Look, this is my best chance to get up. I've heard somebody today again. It was a lady. She says, do you know what? I don't think we're ready to go up. I say, so when do you think we're ready? Well, I think we get another season. I says, well, we've been one season in this division in 13. Next season, if we don't go up this season, next season we'll have a depleted squad. Half of them could disappear overnight. Akpom could be sold to the highest bidder. There's talk about Carrick could go elsewhere. Speculation, I know, but this could be the realism if we don't make it. All the loan players go. Mort goes back. I've not really seen a lot of Mort. I thought he was all right today. Mort goes back. Gels goes back. Archer goes back. Ramsey's already back. Stefan goes back. Then what do we do? Are we going to be better than last year? Very unlikely when you lose quality players like those. Nathan says, I said it on here many times, Mowbray should have been manager of the year. No strikers for most of the season and no centre-halves for months. Yeah, no centre-halves for months. He's been juggling players at the back. No money to spend. And one of the youngest squads in the EFL. Well done, Mugger. And by the way, Nathan, I totally get it. Apart from being my mate, I like to be professional in my comments. Tony Mowbray has did unbelievable job at Sunderland. You see, he's not been backed. And when you see him get an interview, he doesn't look that happy, Mugger. I'm not saying Mugger's got a happy face and always looks happy, but I think there's a lot of things at Sunderland that he probably doesn't like. You know, players coming, players going, he's not saying whatever, like a lot of managers stroke coaches. I don't think he's enjoying that side of it. And to be where he is amazing. Goikerez, there's Russell saying the name of the number 17. Hates Sunderland, but they look strong up the Boro. Michael, I think we just have to be honest. No Close says, them three teams were in the League One a few seasons ago. We should not be afraid of any. Keep the faith. I had to keep the faith when we travelled to Wembley with Norwich and we were a goal down after 20 minutes. No, the players have to keep the faith. Going forward, we should be frightened and intimidated with no one. We're still best scorers in the division. Excuse me, we've got the best striker in the division. Going that way, we fear no one. Defensively, we're flawed, although I praise them today. We are flawed defensively. And at the back, goalkeeper, whatever, still gives me kittens. And I still think they could cost us. Today there was a moment of madness. As I say, Jones back to the keeper. It was short. It looked as if it was getting by the keeper. The big centre forward was rushing in. And thankfully, Stefan blocked it. Because the guy got there first, blocked it. He didn't go with his hands because he got his head kicked off. But we don't need to take chances like that in the big games where it really matters. Leslie says 2 points. You said no chance, Sunderland. They did it. Second point, 2-2 Everton. Nailed. You says Everton to lose to Leicester. Leslie, I don't bet, so I can say what I want. I'm not a betting man. I've never betted in my life. Kieran says Joey Baz hates the Boro. So Joey Baz, whoever you are, you hate the Boro, do you? You hate them even more when we stuff you at Wembley. Matt Ranson says, I agree with you, Bernie, too, regarding playing the Mackhams in the semis. Have been nervous about our back all season, and even more now. I've got an itchy throat. I usually have some water, but I've not got any. Yeah, let's see. Michael Shellard says, yeah, mate, all good. Hope you are, matey. So they're having a discussion. I should have really read that, but I did. Would Boro sell all their tickets at Wembley? May as well give Sunderland 60k. Shut up, Kieran. Sunderland will get 35. Thank you. Sunderland will get 35, I believe. Middlesbrough get 35, and the hoity-toity prawn sandwich soup brigade will get 35. We all know that when it comes to the big games, a lot of businesses get it, where the guys that supported the team for years get nothing, get left behind. It's very unfair. Stephen C. Smith said, hopefully Carrick's thinking nothing in it, but if I'm honest, I'm worrying times away at Coventry will be harder than people think. Their fans were awesome today. They were, Stephen, but obviously, switch it. We've been in positions like you're going to be in the playoffs or you're going to get promotion. I remember they're under Carrington. Great scenes after the game, Big Demi and all the fans, and they all rushed in the field, although you're not meant to do that. It's adrenaline and excitement and pleasure. But it is worrying. I mean, the guy in front of me, I'd actually did a bit today in Alforno's. I'm not plugging, I'm just saying Alforno's. I did a bit for the club today. I forgot I had it on. I was asked a few weeks ago and I forgot all about it. And I remembered anyway, I went. There was about half a dozen Coventry fans, maybe more than that. Shook their hand. Well, anyway, one of them was sitting in front of me today at the game. He did Coventry hat on and he's shut. Fine, cool with that. And he was biting his nails. He was nearly up to his elbows. When they scored the goal, and then there was somebody shouting, oh, Millwall's winning, oh, Sunderland's winning, and they were all shouting the scoreline, and he kept biting his nails, and he looked like he needed tranquilizers to calm him down. Shook his hand at the end, because I like to think I'm a sportsman, and they went away delighted that they're in the playoffs. What's happened to the Boro fans today? Coventry were amazing. No, Stephen, look, the Boro fans were great today as well. Always great. I'm not saying that they can hammer me. I don't give a damn. They hammered me when I played. But I thought the Boro fans were great today. But they've got everything, the adrenaline. They knew near the end of the game that they were going to be in the playoffs. But the way the results were going, they generated a great atmosphere. I didn't expect anything else, did you? So yeah, well done to Coventry fans. They turned up in their droves, sold all their allocation, made a great noise, made it a good spectacle. It's going to be fantastic to be at the playoffs. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope by the end of the game, it means we'll be celebrating with a Parmo. I wonder what kind of Parmo I could eat. I don't eat chicken, so what would I eat in the Parmo? Any ideas, any ingredients, what I could make for the Parmo? So instead of a chicken Parmo, what could I have? Why do you say we ain't Man City? I thought we was Man City, Leslie. No, but I keep saying, Man City are arguably the best team in the world, club level. If they beat Real Madrid and won the European Cup, I think they've proven that under Pep and these players he's got at his disposal. But he can afford to play. They've got the players of the calibre who are unbelievable, all internationals, all top draw players who cost millions and millions of pounds, trillions of pounds. And we think we're Man City at times. We ain't. And if we get punished in the playoffs, I'll go and strangle one of them for taking chances. A Jack Charlton would have knocked half of our team out for taking chances like that. Now we encourage it. And I get the reason why to pull players out. But today they're quick. And they closed Stefan down a few times. And there was a few hesitant moments. We don't want to take risks. No need to take risks. Heard in the lounge today about 17 seconds. This is from Matt Salmon. Something you've achieved twice. Rumour has it, the second time was your honeymoon. Oh, Matt, man, you should have cracked that in the Legends Lounge. It depends what papers at the time. I don't read papers now. 16, some people say 17, Matt. So there you go. We're talking about records. The records in the Premier are getting bashed left, right and centre. International level with Harry Kane and company. Chuba beat the league record of myself. Brilliant. Will any player, if we play Sunderland in the final, will any player for either team beat the 16-17 goal record of myself at Wembley if Sunderland and Boro get there? Would you like to put a bet on they won't? That's a North East record, Derby record. 17 seconds. Will anybody beat it? Not a chance. Good evening, you legend. What are your opinions on the Boro if we go up? Damo, if we go up Boro, we'll have to spend. And spend plenty to stay in the division. And if we don't spend a lot, we will be back down. But who would make it in the Premier? Nobody knows. We can all guess and surmise and point the finger and say he probably... One player deserves to play in the Premier for me is Chuba Akpom. With his season he's had, he deserves to play in the top flight and have a chance at it to see what he can do. If Carrick's still there, I expect us to go and play attacking football. Would the defence survive? No, they wouldn't. Some of the midfield wouldn't survive. But you find your levels in football, and you soon find out who can play in the top flight. Top flight, I remember Gary McAllister, who was Steven Gerrard's right-hand man. I remember Gary McAllister saying to me, I think I've said it before, but I don't want to boys, but people newly watching on YouTube or whatever. We played Leicester City last game of the season. If we win and other results went my way, we were automatically promoted, and we failed. We had to get into the playoffs with Bradford and Chelsea. And Gary McAllister scored that day along with Peter Weir for Leicester. They had nothing to play for. We had to win few results, we get promotion into top flight. Anyway, they came and beat us 2-1 against all the odds. And after the game, in the players' lounge, I knew Gary for nightclubs in Glasgow. He used to play for Dumbarton, I played for Albion Rovers. And he says to me after the game, he says, listen, good luck, Bernie, I really hope you make it and you'll love it. You get more time to play football. And he was right. I went in and I loved it. Some people were questioning would they do it. I loved it because there was more footballers, whereas the lower divisions you go down in England, they just kick the shit out of you. They don't care. There's just no remorse. Just wipe you out, break your leg, break your jaw. Doesn't matter. The higher up, there's more class players, more skillful players. So yeah, I enjoyed it. Some of your players will enjoy it, but some will find it really tough. Some will not make it. As I say, I couldn't say who's going to make it and who's not, but if I look back at the Aitor Karanka team, I've said it in the past, I watched every game. There was only 3 made it out of that whole team that Karanka and the fans raved about. In the top flight, we won 4 games. We went 7.5 games without scoring a goal. We were a negative, boring outfit to watch on the eye. And the only players that succeeded was Valdez, the goalkeeper, Ben Gibson, who played in the 3, and Adam Clayton in front of him, who was ultra negative, and Negredo, the centre forward, who had played at Man City, scored a lot of goals. He went into double figures, and that was an amazing tally considering the style and brand of football we played. He was up front in his own. Used to have to win the ball up front as a lone striker and go and chase his own ball. So they were the only 3 that made it. So a lot of people are saying, oh, he'll make it and he'll do it and he'll do it. No, there was only 3 that made it. So Charlie Leishan says, hiya Charlie, we need to start crossing the ball a little quicker. There was a few instances in that game where the cross was on. Do you know what, Charlie? That's a good point. And that's what Beckham, I know we're switching it here to different levels, but Beckham was a superstar at crossing the ball because soon as he got the ball, he knew before he received the ball where he was going to put it, and he knew if that split second, as soon as the ball comes to me, it's getting in the box. Every opportunity, didn't have to beat the man, didn't have to show off or showboat. Half a chance, cross the ball, whip it in, accurate, defence splitting passes, whipped in. Today, yeah, we did have a few chances and we dillied and dallied. Don't get me wrong, hey, Giles has been amazing as well. Giles, his crosses and his stats tell you he's the biggest provider. And the one thing that Mugger done, if we were to get to the final, we're hypothetical again, don't like doing it, but I'm going to do it. If us and Sunderland get to the final, the one thing Mugger will do, is stop Giles. He's the first player, and he did it at Sunderland Stadium of Light. That stopped with biggest supply, and we were average, and we get beaten, well beaten that day. If you rewind when Mugger was at Blackburn Rovers, Jones was in a rookie vein of form. Everybody was raving about him. The fans were chanting his name. Mugger went, shut him down. They don't function right. He did it to Jones. He's did it to... So he knows exactly what he's doing, and he knows Boro better than anybody. He still lives in this area. He'll still get all the pros and cons off the fans and who's good, who's bad, and who's vulnerable. And Mugger will know his inside out. So that for me is a fear as well. Colin said, we nearly gave a goal away first couple of minutes messing about the back. Colin, I agree. There was 2 moments of madness. And they'll be costly. It's not worth taking the risk. You might as well hit it up the other side of the field, push up, squeeze up, and try and win the ball back, then give it away at the back net. It'd be costly. Andrew Hill says, Boro were poor in the first half, although we scored dead on half time. I thought McNair was outstanding today. For the Boro, there's 10 minutes. Bernie, do you know what, Andrew? Paddy McNair, I take my hat off, and a couple of people in the lounge came over at me and said, by the way, Paddy said a bit sick recently. He was top man. Paddy was terrific because he was up against a bear a real physical presence, a guy who'd blessed with everything, who no doubt will go on to bigger and better things, no disrespect to Coventry. But Paddy kept at it. The guy thought he was past him on a few occasions. Paddy battled, scrapped, intercepted, sliding tackles. So yeah, as I say, the defence I thought were half decent today. Well, good today. Against a good outfit, a good attacking outfit. As I said, looking at them, they play our game. They play us at our game of day. We usually go and control the pace of the game and direct and create and score a goal or two, but they turned it on us in the first half. They says, here, have a bit of what you give to other teams. We're going to give you a bit. And they did. Chris says, our defence will get ripped apart in the final if we get there. Didn't get why he favours McNair over Fry. Fry is better in the air, better tackles. Listen, I don't know the problem with Dale Fry, so I'm not going to speculate. I heard the lads training. That's all I know. I don't know why he was out the team. I don't know what his injury is or what it was. I don't know why a couple of managers over the last year or two, some have left him out and we've all been going, well, why is he out? I heard he's a good kid. I heard he's not confrontational. He's fairly quiet lad. He's on with his business. But I don't know. I hope he's back for the playoffs. But I don't know I don't know what it is about him. Steve says, sloppy passing could be the death of us. Seemed to panic in the ball until we scored. The thing is, Steve, I said before, now the pressure, this is the real, now after today, this is a real games now. This is a real thing. As Sir Alec Ferguson says, squeaky bum time. This is squeaky bum time now. Home and away, or away and home, and then the final at Wembley. This is the real deal now. The guy sitting in front of me, the Coventry fan biting his nails, we'll all be biting our nails and up to our elbows come the playoffs. It gets you, but it's great, innit? Damo says 4-0 Everton, ha ha. Everton won 4-0. Dear me. I don't know why that was thrown in, but there you go. We will be firing on all cylinders in the playoffs, beat Sunderland in the final. I hope you're right, Colin. I hope you're right. But as I said, I like to think when we were getting into playoffs that we'd a spring of a step and confident we could do the business. I'm sure we are confident. As I say, going forward, we're as good as anybody, if not better than anybody. We've got that. Today our defence was good. But the overall performance in 2 wins out of 8 would suggest that we've been derailed a bit. Whereas before that, we were banging form, everything was hunky-dory, scoring 3, 4 and 5, everybody raving about us. Now we're thinking, oh, hold on a minute, bit of a wobble here. We've had to change the team, been forced to change the team, and we're not looking as confident. John Jefferson says, last 3 games are nothing games. Nothing to worry about. We will turn up for the playoffs. John, I hope you're right. I hope you're on here in a couple of weeks saying, Bernie, I told you. As I say, as a former player and guy that's been in these positions, you can't just turn it on and off. It doesn't happen. You have to go out there and play. But today, if I was playing, I would want to score a goal. It's a nothing game, but it is for me because if I'm Akpom, I want to get my 30th goal. So it's important to me. If I'm Mort, I'm thinking, hey, I want to put a 10-star performance here because I want him to pick me in the playoff game from the off, irrespective of who's fit. I want to claim my place. So there is things to play for today. You want to be in the team for going in the playoffs. If you don't play well a day, he might leave you out, Carrick. Carrick won't ditch playing from the back now. We just need to enjoy the ride, live or die. Daniel, look, I'm not saying just keep hoofing it forward, but sometimes we over-elaborate, we overdo it, we over-egg the pudding, if you excuse the terminology. There's times you don't have to do it. Yeah, there's certain times he looks up. I mean, Stefan came out, we're getting beat 1-0 again today, and he came out his goal, and he must have come out 45 yards out his goal in the middle. Moving, looking up, moving. We're getting beat 1-0, I'm thinking, get a move on. You can't afford to do this if we're getting beat 1-0 at Wembley or against Coventry. I just think you should keep the standards and try and keep the standards we've been playing at. Forget what the occasion, wherever we play, you want to play well, you want to be switched on, you want to be professional. Easier said than done, I know, but that's how we want to get in the playoffs. Do you think some players are mentally strong for the playoffs? We'll soon find out, Alec. This separates the men from the boys. This is a real deal now. The whole world is watching Championship to see who's going to be the team to get into this the Premier League, the promised land, the big box. You put your team on the map. There's loads of pressure. Everybody's watching now, and some players will be able to handle it, and some won't. And it separates the wheat from the chaff, and we're going to find out. So we can speculate all we want, but some might be proven they're not mentally tough enough. Gel dupe in 17 seconds, Matt Salmon. Gel. I used to wear gel. Well, gel, hair gel, still wear that. Dupe used to be the aftershave. I used to wear it at tall trees, dupe all over. It's about 20 quid a gallon. Brilliant. Some of my mates still wear it. Keeps the flies away these days. And 17 seconds, well, you can't beat that. Let's see where nearly there. Matt Sunderland says, watch Mugger's interview after today's game. He is happy at Sunderland. Happy? Oh, he is happy at Sunderland. Look, don't be kidding with what you see on the screen or reading the papers. I don't believe any of it. Propaganda galore, not just in the government and the political spectrum. Everybody lies. The whole world's lying at the minute. You can't tell the truth, but I hear footballers saying things and I think, you're kidding yourself on. Do you think that the former footballers believe what you're really saying? No. Chris McGlade, hiya Chris, why are people being so negative? Saying stuff like we're not ready to go up. If we're not ready to go up with the squad and manager that we've got now, when will we be ready? I'd rather go up and have just one season in the Premier League. They're not doing that. I totally agree with you, Chris. Grass the nettle while it's there. This is as good a team as we've seen for many, many years. We've got an attack-minded coach. We've got strikers who score goals, whether they're lone or tuber. They're scoring goals. We're an attacking team. We're entertaining. Why not go up? Let's go in and entertain the Premier League and give it our all. If we come down, so be it. We've done it before. But don't just cherry pick. Oh, we're not ready yet. As I say, I heard that nonsense today. Don't buy into that. We've been in the Premier once in 13 years. This is the best chance and opportunity we are going to have for many years to come. And if you think this team don't make it, then next season will be better, you're living in cloud cuckoo land. How's it going to be better when half the team's loans, so we'll go back to the parent club, and the financial structure won't be there, the money that we get getting into the Premier won't be available? How are we going to be better? Try and no kid yourself, you're just being daft. Andrew Cook says, do the fact that we're the least informed team concern you, Benny? Me, Andrew, actually does, yeah, it does. Me personally, yeah. I'd be concerned if I was playing, I'd think, hold on a minute, I've not scored for a few games. We've not been winning we've only won 2 at the last 8. Where's this great form that we were fantastic early doors and beyond? And all of a sudden, it's coming to big games. The injuries are creeping in, which I've said all season. Injuries, loss of form, send-offs, red cards. They can all play a part. Bad decision. We've seen it at Luton. Everything can go against you. But, yeah, I think if you had a choice, do you want to get in with a limp? Or do you want to get in with a, nice, confident, well, we lace that arrogance saying, hey, we're up for you. We ain't getting in the playoffs with that now. We've looked at who we're playing today firsthand. That is their team. And we know they're a good team. They know we're a good team. But so it's going to be a fair old battle. What do you mean, Middlesbrough get 35 ticket? We will get none. We will not be there. Oh, Leslie, man. Look, I'm always surmising if we get there, that's, I think, what's available. Paul Wells says, Mackham's watching your blog, Bernie, just because no one does one in Sunderland. Well, let's face it. They have had to rely, where am I? Well, let's face it, they have had to rely on another smoggy as well. Boro have nothing to fear. We will be back in top gear on Sunday. Roll on Sunday. It's exciting, isn't it? Robbie Very says, we have lost a little bit of flair of late at the wrong end of the season to lose form. I still believe Carrick has enough in his gameplay to pull it off, but we are now in a lottery situation. All the other 3 teams will be thinking exactly the same up the Boro. Yeah, that's a good point, Robbie. The other teams that's there are always confident as us. The only thing we can say is that that it's a fact is the best goal scorer in the division, and we possess the best goal scorer in Chuba Akpom, and we've got guys like Archer who are banging form. So Sunderland can't do that. Coventry, they've got the guy up front 21, but not quite 29, the same as Akpom, although he's made about another 10. Luton, I don't even know what the top striker's got. So clubs will still fear us because of the way we attack, but defensively, as I say, and the way we take chances and risks when we don't have to, teams will be confident. You've seen them today, Coventry, as soon as they knew we were playing it back to the goalkeeper, and they've watched clips of us and how we operate and how we play. They were all rushing. There was 2 and 3 at a time, trying to put the keeper under pressure, and nearly come off. A few more, and shows how missed Howson today, Bernie. Well, Howson's missed obviously for his defensive qualities. He's a leader. He breaks up opponents' play, and he's a composed character. He's a coolant. So yeah, Howson is a miss, but I'm sure Howson will be fit and ready to go. They played today like they had nothing to play. They played today like they had nothing to play for. You mean Middlesbrough, Paul? So Paul's saying they played today like they had nothing to play. Well, they certainly had a lot to play for, getting the top 6, and they achieved that. Well done to them. I don't feel too positive in the playoffs, Mohammed. No, I wouldn't say we're not positive. Look, we've not been in a rich vein of form. We've had injuries. We've changed the team, something that Carrick never did when he first came in, and before we'd made the playoffs. Before that was clear and evident, he never messed about the team. Now he's either messing about it, trying to protect players, or he's had to change things because of injuries, but it's not working. And that for me was the biggest thing that Carrick had. When he came in, scrapped the back 5, I thought that's a massive positive. Keep the same team, ban injury, a loss of form. He kept the same team in the main, and it's paid dividends. That's why we are where we are today. But now there is a bit of disruption. And we ain't as fluent or as confident as we've been. Can it come back in the playoffs? Of course it can. But Coventry, don't write them off at your peril. They're as good as us on the eye. And the guy up front is totally different. We've got the best striker, goal-scoring striker. He could arguably be the best striker in the league. The big lad for them. Alec Mort was my man of the match today. Engine room in the midfield, doing Howson's job. Hackney was all over the shop. This is from Liam. Hi, Liam. Today, Akpom and Archer looked a yard off the pace. Today, still have faith in the playoffs. Well done for your faith there, Liam. And you're right in what you says. Yeah, I agree with that. We need Foz and Howson back to... Yeah, we need both of them for Steve Daly. Kevin Smith says, Middlesbrough's atmosphere was crap, no singing. There was singing? Much need to the playoffs non-stop. Kev, there was a full house there today. And where I was sitting, in the main stand, the right-hand side in particular, where it's always noisy, and get behind the side, they were very, very vocal today. Maybe you need your ears testing, Kev. Steve says, we definitely need Foz and Howson back. Last chance, look a light midfield, and I prefer Foz over Jones. I think Jones will be out and Foz will be in if Foz declares himself fit. Mugger to beat his beloved Boro in the final for Kieran Basnett, who's obviously a Sunderland fan. Mugger can't believe the support Sunderland has. Unbelievable. Kieran, I agree with that. Mugger's went record, he's told me personally. The Sunderland support is amazing. I mean, you get, what, 40-odd thousand Sunderland fans every week at home. Incredible. Up there. Get Archer and Ramsey signed. Well, Tony, as I says, I might be talking a lot of old tosh, but my gut instinct is I don't think Ramsey will be back. And if we don't get promoted, I think Archer will be gone, Ramsey will be gone, Giles will be gone, Akpom could be sold. I feel the worst. I think it's all or nothing. This is what, as I say, I might be talking utter garbage. But as a Boro fan, and I think I'm fairly knowledgeable about football, and my gut instinct is, if we don't go up, half the team could go. Excuse me, they're not our players. Right, 5 minutes or more, and that's it. Great moment at the match today when Boro fans were singing "We Hate Sunderland" and Coventry fans joined in, as with Pam Turnbull. Decent game today, but passing was sloppy first half. Any news on Friday? Pam, none of the wiser. As I say, I've been in the company of one or two of Dale's Dale's pals recently. I'm not one for quizzing. If they want to tell me, they'll tell me. Never says a word. Not really seen him. There was somebody who says today that he's been back training, so that's a good sign. But I don't know his injury. I don't know anything about him. A lot of negative comments on here, bar a few strange results. We can still win this playoffs because we have quality, as if you're Stephen Robertson, in depth, and we score goals. Stephen, I keep saying it, the biggest thing we've got is we're the best scorers in the division, got the best striker in the division. The best striker does score goals. And Akpom's been on fire. Still question why he was left out. Last 2 games he's not been at the races. Let's hope he comes alive in the playoffs. 2-0 to Boro on Sunday for Tony, no messing about. Chris McGlade says, let's face it, a position in the table hasn't really been affected by the loss of form. So I don't think, sugar. Oh my goodness, I don't think Carrick will be too bothered about it. What's most important is the next 3 games. And I think that's what Carrick has really had his eye on for a few weeks. I'm sure he has, Chris, but it's nice to get with a wee skip and a jump getting into the playoffs rather than crawling in thinking, yeah, we booked a place a few weeks ago, but the form isn't quite there. Steve Daly says if we go up, we need 50 million to invest in a squad. 50 million? Steve, if we got the renting with spin-offs, you can get over 200 million. We'd have to spend 100 million. And even that wouldn't guarantee us staying in the Premier League. No unless the conveyor belt of talent and youth comes through. Phil says, Bernie, do you not think Carrick will build his own team in the summer if we don't go up? He's not had a full transfer window. Yeah, he will, and he'll bring in his own players, and I get that, but he needs money to bring in quality players, and will the money be available, Phil? That's my question. So we lose Giles. Will we get a better player than Giles with limited funds? I don't think we will. Archer and Ramsey. You look at the loan players of the past. They've come in and been average. Look at Conley, Barrigan. Barrigan was nice football, but lightweight, didn't do it. Conley, overweight Conley, no good. So next year will it be back to loan players who don't belong to us, get in the same position again next year, and then drift away and let them go back to the parent club and we're just giving them a platform in the shop window for the parent clubs to make money. So no, the reason being that I don't think we'll have the money to go and buy, Carrick will want to build his own squad, but he knows he's got a better chance with more money than no money. So, and he's not the full and don't forget, he has to be helped by the director of football. He's the guy that pulls the strings and transfers comings and going. Carrick might have a say here and there, but he's not, I don't think he totally controls it. I think that's the director of football. It does that. And I think it's the same at Sunderland, same all over the country, not just at Middlesbrough. So the guy that's there has to be good at his job. This year, bringing in Ramsey and Archer has been brilliant. But Warnock went record a few weeks ago on national radio saying that he wanted Ramsey and Archer, but they never got them. Maybe they weren't, well, I don't know why they weren't available, because they weren't playing for Villa. Right, listen, thank very much to you for watching. Tomorrow I will be doing Total BS podcast. Archie Stevens, had a few words with Archie Stevens, former 86 legend, great in the air, used to hover like a kestrel, score goals galore. He was my guest in the Legends Lounge today. So I've did a chat with him for the podcast. I'll be doing a bit in YouTube, a bit with Archie, and you'll be able to watch that. Oh, also Mickey Hosswell's there, because I talked to Mickey about Sunderland and Tony Mowbray. Mickey Hosswell, if you don't know, the younger viewers, played for Sunderland, 73 FA Cup winner. He was flashing his medal a day at the Boro fans. The Boro fans were wanting to kill him. He talks a bit about Mowbray, talks a bit about us, if we did meet each other. This was before the game, I chatted to them. So I'll be putting that in the YouTube, it's free. You listen to Total BS podcast. Usually have it every Monday, but because of the disruption in the games and all that, it's been mayhem. Yeah, so that's that. Thanks as always for you for watching, and thanks to Galaxy Blinds, Cornerstone, Advanced Utility Solutions, Boro Ship Museum, TGM Cars, Cleveland Systems Engineering, and RWTA, Richard Wells Training Associate. Thanks for your support for the sponsors as always. The majority are back on board next year. I'm looking for one more. If you want to join us, get in touch privately and you can come on board, but the team's all ready for next year. Can't wait. Let's hope it's a premiere. Enjoyed the game today. A wee bit frustrating at times, but I'm still confident we can get to Wembley. Thanks very much. Cheers up the Boro. Thanks for watching. Cheers. We get it off. Oh, can I get it off?